Today I'm out here in New Jersey and I'm not looking for gabagool. No, I'm looking for video games and we're going to Zonk's. I've been to Zonk's a couple of times, and what keeps me coming back is the people that work here. They're all pretty nice.
Oh, my favorite part about working here? Oh, honestly, I think it's pretty lively. You know, you meet all kinds of people, all different kinds of folks and friends and whatnot.
Now, every time I stop in, they've got new and interesting inventory. They're one of those places that have video games, Funko Pops, toys, wrestling stuff, comics. They're a little bit of everything, but they still have a ton of video games.
So you can come to one shop with your friends and not go to 10 different kinds of shops. You know, last week we had somebody who came in that was like that. He liked Funko Pops, and the other friend liked action figures, the other guy liked video games, and they all bought from us all different stuff because they said, wow, unlike other stores, you have everything, and I don't have to go to 10 different stores.
The guys at Zonk's are always at the flea market, so they are constantly sourcing brand new things. I've always wanted the Mega Man X Super Nintendo trilogy. I never see DuckTales 2 just chilling. It's actually kind of funny. They're very close to the American Dream Mall, and I don't go there often, but the American Dream Mall is the second largest mall in the United States, and every once in a while a store will open up there, and I'll go and check it out. And on my way home, back to Connecticut, I will stop in this place and see what they got going on. They've always got a bunch of really neat stuff. Every time I go to the store, I end up chatting with the guys that work here for way too long. Not because it's an unpleasant experience, it's great to talk to them, but I end up chatting with them for an hour, and then I'm like, oh geez, I haven't really filmed anything. And then I just run around the store getting B-roll. If you're in Jersey in this general area and you're looking for a good variety shop, you should 100% stop by Zonk's. And that means I only have 25 games left in a complete US N64 set. Now this store I've seen online a lot, but I never knew they had physical locations. They apparently have 3 stores in New Jersey. This is their Clark location. Now, right off the bat, they had a decent selection of stuff, and some very rare things. It's kind of funny, with the Super Star Fox Weekend, I went my whole life not seeing one, and in a period of a month, I've seen this game 3 times. I usually don't love a sticker, but I do like one when it's from a rental shop, so I'm gonna pick this up. I recently found out that Nintendo Powers, especially the later ones, have different covers based on whether or not they were a subscription cover or one you picked up at the newsstand. I just find that interesting, and I recently picked this up for 20 bucks. I'm really glad I only paid 20 bucks. It looks like they've got a copy of Trials of Mana here. This game was legendary when I was a kid because there was just no way to get it. Now you can just get it for 5 bucks. I'm not going for a complete in-box N64 set, but it's always neat to see complete in-box games. I'm not a huge fan of clamshells though. They have a Canadian edition of Splinter Cell Blacklist that I'm picking up, and if you're looking for normal accessories or controllers or consoles, they've got you covered here. They've got a lot of basics as well. This store kind of felt like what GameStop would be if they did retro very well, and that's probably just because of the way the store is laid out. Now I only need 24 N64 games. I collected a complete Wii U set a while ago, but every once in a while I'll get variants, and I'm glad to pick this one up, even though it barely fits on the shelf. When it comes to classic OG retro video game stores, look no further than Digital Press Video Games in New Jersey. Now right off the bat, they have a good selection of basic N64 games. I'm looking through them because there are a couple of N64 games I need that are not too rare, and maybe they have them here, maybe they don't. I'm coming very close to the end of a complete N64 run, and as I do that, I will give everybody an update on what I've got left. Now, Digital Press Video Games has a ton of older video games, lots of stuff before the Nintendo era, which I usually don't collect for, but it's always neat to see. Personally, I totally respect Atari's place in history, but a lot of the games are so archaic that I don't have a ton of fun playing them. This is a CDX. It's kind of a rare Sega CD Genesis thing. This Virtual Boy kiosk is one of my grailed kiosks. I just really like the Virtual Boy. Whenever I see Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS, I check check and see if it is the incorrectly spelled version, and this one is. See Revelations on the front, and then Revelations is spelled incorrectly on the side. I'm at a point in my N64 collecting where I'm actually going to a lot of stores and not finding new N64 games. It is still neat to take a look at what they have in their rare cabinet. Like, this is a game for the Japanese only disc drive, which is pretty neat and rare. Pretty good price too. Looks like they've got a copy of Super Mario Left Bros for about 200 bucks. And gosh, they've got a whole bunch of off-book Marios that I just want to buy. What I kind of mean by that is, like, Mario looks the same way on every single thing you see nowadays. It's just really cool to see, like, Mario looking a little wonky. This was one of my favorite fighting games growing up. I still have it complete in box, and it's the version I had when I was a kid. This is an interesting little cartridge holder thing. It rotates, and you can see all the different video games in it. I'm guessing originally these might have had cassette tapes in them or something, but I'm not 100% sure. The guy who made this store, I think, ended up moving to Texas and making the National Video Game Museum. But then he moved back and then works at this store as well. Most Nintendo Switch games are pretty uniform, but every once in a while you'll find one with a weird spine, and Has Been Heroes is one of those. The rest of the Switch games have a clearly uniform font, but this one's neat. I've been looking for it for a while. Funny enough, Super Bomberman R is one that's also a little messed up, but it's actually messed up in two ways. It's centered and the wrong font. It's nice to see Nature's Healing with this JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game. It's down to $30 when it used to be $60 to $70. Just Dance 2017 also has a weird spine. Interesting. And just one more weird spine is The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. This was the first version of this game. I'm going to pick up two of these, but Just Dance, I just feel like that's a much cheaper game, and I'm going to find that somewhere else. I haven't seen many Neo Geo CDs in the past, but it's really cool to see one. If you're looking for a video game store with a lot of history and a pretty decent selection, look no further than Digital Press Games. This store goes hand in hand with video game culture and YouTube video game culture as well. It looks like I've got 3 weird spine games, but I'll have to get that Just Dance at some other point. Now, if you want a similar but different experience, there is a second Digital Press video game store. It's kind of nice. The guys here recognized me as the Wii U guy, and plus they were just really nice to talk to. Now, Digital Press 2 has a slightly more modern vibe than the Digital Press 1. Digital Press 1 feels more 80s, 90s. Digital Press 2 feels more 90s, 2000s. I absolutely love this. The owner happened to be here when I walked in, and he had a dog. He told me the reason Digital Press 2 exists is because while the owner of Digital Press 1 was creating the National Video Game Museum, he was the manager there. But then when he got back, there wasn't a need for 2 managers. So he ended up franchising out and starting Digital Press 2. Sonic Jam. He also told me that while it's not an actual rule, he always has tried to make this store different than Digital Press 1, so that way if you go to both stores in the same day, you have a different experience. And you know what? Even though they have a ton of N64 games, they do not have any of the N64 games I currently need. I'm actually looking for the complete in-box version of this, and I'm not sure why I didn't pick it up. And you know what? I just picked up this statue the other day. They don't just have one, no, they have 2 Mario Brother pinball machines, which is super cool to look at. Now, this next thing I'm going to say is a little insider baseball, but yeah, let's talk about it anyways. People at retro video game stores aren't always the most social individuals you'll ever meet. It's rare to meet somebody that's both extremely nerdy about video games and able to talk to other people about that. I love this Wreck-It Ralph reference, by the way. It's amazing. What I'm trying to say here is the people that worked at the store were super duper nerdy about video games, but they were also extremely pleasant to talk to. I ended up chatting it up with them about video games for way too long, but I loved it. Also, I picked up this import because I don't know what it was. There's a lot of cool rare video games and cool rare people at this store. You should definitely stop by if you're ever in the area. Game Zone. Party time. Excellent. Woo woo woo! That is actually a very rare Pikachu statue. And hey, a very rare Super Mario 64 statue. As you step into this place, you very quickly realize they don't waste an inch here. It is filled with games, all sorts of good things, and what's that? Another rare statue. That is a Fox McCloud statue. This is actually probably the rarest of the 3 statues, and it looks all original as well. I've always wanted to pick up this game because it's made by Microsoft and for some reason is a Toys R Us exclusive. The Xbox 360 version of this is pretty sought after. I'm still looking to complete that N64 set, so you know I'm looking through their games games here, and it looks like they've got one here in the back that I actually need. Jack Bros might be one of the most rare Virtual Boy games, and it's an Atlas game. It's also really neat to see Mario Tennis and Mario Clash in box. I kind of like the way they've stacked their video games here. It makes it kind of easier to see multiples, but makes it so they can fit a lot more in the case. I'm a huge fan of the next generation, but I'm gonna leave this here because it's probably a bad game. I was like, why is this so expensive? Then I noticed it's not for resale. Makes sense. What I really respect about this store is there's so many things that you can just pick up and touch. They actually have a lot of their not so rare games just out in the open, and there's a couple consoles here that are pretty rare that you can just handle yourself. They also have one of these rotatey shelfy things. I have a feeling that these games aren't looked at that often, so if you're looking for a game to play, you might be able to find a good deal somewhere deep inside one of these. This is a pretty good video game store, and whenever I'm in this part of Jersey, I make sure to stop by. Jersey in general just seems to be filled with some pretty decent video game stores, so if you're ever in the area, definitely go to one of these stores. It looks like I've only got 5 video game stores left until I've gone to 100 video game stores. Which one should I go? I should probably make the finale pretty special, right?